Dear auto selling professionals, it is great we can meet again in our weekly Auto Selling Professional Club's newsletter. Before speaking another word, may I introduce myself as Madam Sophia, the virtual assistant to CTM Joseph NG, your sales and marketing e-coach and e-mentor. Enough of my long intro, let us dive into this week's bulletin. Shall we? Thanks. Breaking news: vehicle leasing a non-issue, important issues to discuss. Former Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng recently revealed that the previous Pakatan Harapan government had decided against changing the Proton Perdana fleet, but that was back in January 2020 and 2 administrations ago. It's been almost 2 years since, and during this time these highly used vehicles have seen much more wear and tear. Would he have made the same decision today if he was still in power, and put up with hefty maintenance costs and constant breakdowns? Any average consumer would say that it makes perfect sense to acquire, especially at the same cost or less, a reliable, newer car. Have critics also forgotten that Proton Perdana is no longer in production? Besides, it is not unusual for members of the executive to be assigned with non-national car brands for their official duties. When the Finance Ministry on Sunday released a statement saying that the government decided to change its fleet of official cars for ministers from the aging Proton Perdana to the Toyota Velfire due to safety and cost benefits, the opposition immediately jumped on the issue. The move was criticized as unnecessary, and that the savings of a mere room 2.80 per month did not justify the switch. Opposition members of parliament also asked why the government did not stick with the national car. I don't see the need for the opposition to pounce on this issue. At the cusp of post-COVID-19 economic recovery and the biggest ever national budget being unveiled, why split hairs over room 2.80 when there is a room 332.1 billion package that needs more urgent appraisal? Aren't the poor public reception to the COVID-19 booster shots and plight of the B40 more? Kelantan, the executive councillor used Mercedes-Benz. The Penang chief minister was given a Mercedes 560e as his official car. Earlier, all executive councillors in the DAP-controlled state were assigned a Toyota Camry each. In January earlier, all executive councillors in the DAP-controlled state were assigned a Toyota Camry each. January this year, the Penang chief minister was given a Mercedes 560e as his official car. Earlier, all executive councillors in the DAP-controlled state were assigned a Toyota Camry each. So, for the opposition to question the federal government's decision due to national pride is hypocritical. Besides, Proton is no longer seen as a national brand following the takeover of a sizable stake by Chinese carmaker Geely. This was acknowledged by no less than former Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, the mastermind of Proton. Furthermore, ministers need to be accorded with official vehicles that benefit their stature whether we personally like them or not. Some quarters even suggested that our ministers ride a bicycle or take public transport. Naturally, security and reliability are also important for these people to carry out their hectic jobs, which require them to be in many places at specific times daily. How does one ride around Putrajaya and to the Parliament building on a bicycle? Bear in mind, too, that ministers are not the only ones meant to be in these vehicles, so are the accompanying civil servants, security personnel and the occasional local or foreign official. Should they be put at risk in the course of their job traveling with the minister? In any case, the Toyota Velfire is not in the same class as a Maserati or Porsche, which would by general standards be considered extravagant. In fact, it is not uncommon to see upper-middle-class Malaysian families owning a Velfire. To me, the Velfire issue is therefore a non-starter. Source: The Star, the 17th of October 2021. By the way, a happy with week's bulletin. I hope you do. As for myself, it is very useful. You ask, why? It is a balanced viewpoint on buy and lig cars, locally made or imported ones. PS, please give us a thumbs up. Also subscribe to our channel so you would not miss out any of our practical and useful video clips. Alright. PPS, before we part company, may I introduce Madam Florence, another virtual assistant to CTM Joseph. She will deliver a free chapter of the book, How to Close Every Sale and Every Time. Until we meet again, this is Madam Sophia wishing you goodbye and happy selling. Thanks a million. Thank you, Madam Sophia, for allowing me to present a free chapter from the book, How to Close Every Sale and Every Time. By the way, before speaking another word, may I introduce myself to you as Madam Florence, another virtual assistant to CTM Joseph NG. He is the author of the book. Alright. Below is the free chapter. Chapter 15, the impending event, close quote, tell him that, with the cost of labor going up, this may be his last chance to get your product at the present price. By William Davis in his book, The Super Salesman Handbook. For starters, the entire chapter on the impending event, close hangs on the question of the prospect must be made to feel that he or she must buy now to avoid a loss. Use this strategy to rob prospects' procrastination. You will find that one of the best weapons in your closing arsenal, if you are honest. This would work best when you can't sell more and better benefits. By this I mean do emphasize how your product will be missing out if he doesn't buy from you right now. Here are practical examples of how the impeding event close should work. Imagine the prospect says, I want to think it over, or come back next week. You, the salesperson, reply, allow me to urgently write the order now. For delivery next week because, I'm sorry to say, next week the price goes up 10%. I'd like to give you this wonderful price today. Additional if it possible, you should upsell more by saying, of course, but with over dozen cartons you buy this trip you get one free. So why not take advantage of the discount now? For the sake of clarity, there is yet another better way to illustrate on how to apply fear with the impeding event, close. It should sound like this. Oh, I'm sorry, this is the only one of its kind in stock, and I'm not allowed to hold it for you unless, of course, you'd like to put down just a small deposit. Yet, another excellent illustration will explain more clearly. Everyone would agree that it's a lot easier to sell an umbrella when it is pouring rain. Hence, the salesperson should always create a sense of urgency when the sun is shining by using word pictures and creating vivid pictures in the prospect's mind. The salesperson could also paint a vivid picture by telling this, imagining walking to work and having your new suit drenched. The bus is always 30 minutes late when you do not have your umbrella. Have you noticed how hard it is to buy an umbrella during a downpour? Make no mistakes, you must be honest when you apply this method of closing. This sort of close can annoy some people, and a salesman may be faced with the choice of applying or not to apply this closing tactic. Get my drift? Summary. To drive home the succulent points of this chapter, there must be some restatement of certain facts. Do recall the quote by William Davis in his book, The Super Salesman Handbook. Basically, this close is to remind the prospect to avoid a loss. Moreover, it helps to rob prospects' procrastination. Ideally, when the salesman can't sell more benefits. Then he should work around the questions of price, gift or limitadi stock. The salesperson can also drive home the benefit using the case of selling umbrella before and during rain. Lastly, you the seller must be honest. Does this summary serve as a good reminder? You bet. Conclusion. Therefore, to conclude the chapter on impeding event, close, there must be a really strong emphasis on using attractive motivations for the prospect to buy. In truth, this closing method must apply genuine reasons to encourage the prospect to buy. It could by way of use fear, pride, romance, or the need for group acceptance. To round up this chapter, do take heed of the words of H. Robert Dodge. He was a Democratic candidate for District 147 of the Pennsylvania House of Representatives. And I must say these words would be the most fitting way to wrap up this chapter. He states that even some insurance agents may attempt to close by stressing the need for the breadwinner to provide for financial protection for the family, should he or she die or become disabled. Believe it or not, citing the adverse results of not buying now can actually make the buyer to buy right away. True. That said, it is at this point I shall gracefully end this chapter. Alright. Thanks a million. Hope to meet you again in the next chapter. End of chapter 15. PS. If you like this chapter and the ebook, you can always order this ebook by contacting the author personally, CTM Joseph at josephsing@gmail.com, or WhatsApp him at 601-2387-8592. This ebook is currently on offer at only $1.99 or RM8 exclusively for sales professionals like yourself. It is for limited time only. So, hurry now to secure your order. Yes.